anything that you do in life that you fail for, when you're a little baby, how many times do you fall before you start walking? A bunch of times before you just actually start taking off and just walking. So you just got to keep failure. Like, you're in the gym, you're trying to pump out 225. The only way you're gonna get to 225 is you keep trying to bench press until you fail, and that's how you grow, and that's how you get to that next level. So anybody with a 9 to 5, don't quit. Everything is hard in the beginning. It ain't all rainbows. It's not easy at the beginning. It's gonna be hard. I'm not a guru, nothing like that, but I know how to hustle. I know how to hustle, and I know how to navigate through 9 to 5 and being a businessman at this point in life. I know how to do that. And one thing I can say is don't quit. Just jump in it. Don't be afraid. If you're passionate about something that you want to do, just do it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dan Wynn with the Financial Freedom Journal. Today, we have a special guest named Ed Blackshear. It's one of my really good friends. I've actually done a video with him in the past. Definitely look him up. I'm just going to read his bio really quick, a quick summary about him. Again, his name is Ed Blackshear. He's a father and a husband, and also serial entrepreneur. He has a few different companies. His real estate company is Cream Team Properties. The Cream stands for Creatively Rebuilding Everything Around Me. To business based out of Utica, New York. And he's just moving and shaking in the real estate industry, starting off with wholesaling. And then he's also, we'll talk a little bit about his transition into being a landlord. He's bought a duplex, but we'll get into that as well. So Ed, how you doing? Thank you very much for coming on the show. Really, really appreciate it.
I'm good. Yeah, just good to do an interview with you, man. Too.
Yeah. So if you, I'm sure some of you guys will go back and watch the very first video I did with him. We did a tour of his first rental property, and it was kind of gutted out and things like that. But we talk about networking a lot, and your network equals your net worth, and we talk a lot about how you can get into real estate investing. And one of the ways is going to your local RIAs, and that's how I met Ed. I went to a local RIA, and then we've been pretty good friends ever since. So we're working on some things to do together, actually, to do some business together. But yeah, more to follow on that. But Ed, please, if you have anything, if you want to say anything, please. If I forgot anything, please go ahead and.
Oh, nah, you pretty much covered it. Just been doing real estate. It's going on 2 years. My company, Cream Team Properties. I started it officially like almost a year and a half ago. And I just been grinding, doing different things, different businesses. I've been rolling, the real estate thing is the number one thing. And like you said, I met you at a RIA meeting, networking, and that actually the RIA meeting I met you at was the first time I started realizing your network is your net worth. Because that meeting, there was a lot of people there. It was I think it was a packed room that day, and I was talking to a lot of different people. And I was just starting to trying to catch some steam in wholesaling, and I was just talking to a lot of different people, and I was like, man, it's a lot of people in here that own a lot of properties. So ever since then, that day, I started talking to people like you and some of the other people that were in the room. And I'm like, man, this is you definitely got to network with people like this, because there's a lot of knowledge that could be gained from talking to people like yourself that own properties and all the other ones in the room. And knowledge is really the key to all of this. So
that's definitely true. Definitely true. So can you tell us a little bit about your backstory? So especially that you've worked a 9 to 5 and kind of transitioned into real estate investing. I think a lot of my subscribers and a lot of listeners on the podcast are kind of in the same situation. They're trying to figure out, hey, how do I transition this 9 to 5 W-2 job into something that's actually paying me passively, something that I can build wealth from? Can you speak to that a little bit, your personal experience?
Yeah. So let me start at the very beginning. So when I was 21 years old, I was like an entrepreneur per se. I was getting into it. Like I went to college at Utica College for 3 years. And I was going there. I just really didn't want to even be at college, but I was there because my parents was like, I went there for football. I was a cornerback. Played a year. We had any money. yeah. We didn't have any money to be paying for school and me playing football. So I quit playing football. And I hate to say quit because I really don't like quitting stuff. But I stopped playing football. And then I actually went and got a full-time job, and I went to school full-time. So I was doing that, but I'm going to school for like no reason because I just don't even know what I want to do in life. But I'm going to college paying like 30 grand a year, and I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. So end up leaving, and the 9 to 5 that I work now, I end up finding that and getting, and that was, it's good money. But in between that, I used to sell sneakers on eBay, shirts. I used to go to Macy's and get stuff on clearance and then flip it and sell it on eBay for like $4 or $5 more. So I was doing that with sneakers and clothes and stuff like that. And I was always saying, like, y'all want to do something like this on a bigger scale. So fast forward, like 8 years later, I was working 9 to 5. I really wasn't just trying to do that my whole life. The whole time I've been working it. So like 2 years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump into something else. I actually went back to school 2 years ago and finished my degree just to say I didn't quit at something, So I went back and finished it. Then shortly after that, I said, I'm hungry for more success. I graduated, so I'm like, this ain't really enough. So I went and jumped and started looking at different things, entrepreneurial things I could get into. And I went and jumped in. I found a video of Mark Whitten and a video of Jay Morrison, and I started following guys like that. And they tweaked my mind. I was like, man, I could do that. If they could do it, no offense, but I probably could do it too. So I just jumped in it. And alongside with my 9 to 5, I was trying. I just went and just grinded it out and just pretty much. Started learning for like a month straight, reading books, YouTube University, day and night, and then, I just pretty much jumped in it. Just, I said, all right, let me try to wholesale. So jumped into wholesaling. Probably like a few months down the line, it took me to get a deal. And that deal took a long time because I got it. So I'm like, yeah, I got the deal. I know it's a good deal. ARV was like $60K, and I got the property in the contract for $6,000, and it didn't need that much work. It probably needed 10 grand. But the person who I had in the contract with, they really wanted to get rid of it. They didn't want to be a landlord no more. So, and then I found a buyer within like 2 days. But the only issue was, while the title search was being done, it came back. There was a bunch of liens and stuff like that on the title. So we had to work for like 4 or 5 months to even get that stuff cleared up to actually close my first deal. And then from there, I just caught steam. I just took the money I made and just put it back in the business and I just keep doing. I just been doing the same thing ever since then. Just keep flipping and turning it and put it back in the business.
Dude, that's excellent, man. Like, I think that's pretty much what everyone wants to do. Now I got a couple questions on that because I want to kind of dissect that a little bit. So backing up first, you're working your full-time job. You realize you're in college and you're like, hey man, it sounded like you're basically there because everybody told you to kind of go there. That's kind of the thing to do. Like, hey, you got to go to college to be successful, right? That's kind of what it sounds like. I was in the same situation. I think a lot of us are in the same exact situation. But what exactly was it about wholesaling that attracted you? I know you were listening to Mark Whitten and Jay Morrison. I love those guys. I listen to those guys a lot as well. But what was it that actually attracted you to wholesaling?
To be honest, it was the front knowledge to like analyzing a deal. So my end goal is to be a property owner, a landlord, So I said, all right, wholesaling, because I didn't necessarily not have money. I just didn't want to take away. Always look at it as I didn't want to take away from my family with what I'm doing with my 9 to 5 income. I look at it as just I'm supporting this house and the house I live in and my family. And all the money I'll make from business is just, I'm going to just flip that and make my business bigger. So I said, all right, I'm going to jump in it in just in wholesaling. But wholesaling, you can learn to analyze deals. So I took it as, all right, I could jump into wholesale and just learn how to analyze each house, whether it's a flip or a rental. I could learn how to analyze it. Then I could do it. Then once I get enough knowledge, I'll make money with the knowledge, of doing it. And then in turn, I'll take that knowledge and I'll go buy my own stuff with that same knowledge. So that's pretty much why I took the wholesale route and got into it.
So the ability to analyze a deal, which is kind of the foundation of pretty much all real estate investing. I mean, you got to know how to analyze the deal. So I'm assuming that's what attracted you. So let's go back to that first deal. So, and kind of sum up what wholesaling is for those who listening who don't know. We talk about a lot of different types of real estate investing, but wholesaling is one that I think it's popular, but can you just give us an example of that kind of through your first deal, kind of give us some of the numbers? I know you said you wanted to clean up some stuff. Can you kind of go over what that was and how long it was and, what you profited from that first deal?
Yeah. Number one, people try to say, wholesaling is you get a house under contract, you make money in 30 days. That ain't always true. So this first deal, well, first let me start with your first question. Wholesaling is you get a house under contract, and for a certain price, you and the owner agree on a certain price, and then with that piece of paper, you're pretty much selling a piece of paper. Then you market that piece of paper, not the house. Market the piece of paper for sale. The agreement between you and the seller, and there's certain clauses in your contract that make it so that you can sell that contract. Then you sell that contract to an end buyer, and the end buyer will come through and they'll buy that piece of paper from you, plus pay the owner what you agreed upon in the first place.
Right.
And you make money in between.
Exactly.
Yep. So that first deal I had, it was in the south side of Syracuse. Real rental market. The ARV on it after repair value was $60K. It was a single family house. Really didn't need that much work. 5-year-old roof. Foundation was done like 7 years prior. It just needed a lot of cosmetic stuff. Somebody was living in it. The owner had somebody living in it for 20 years. They had the same tenant for 20 years.
Jeez. Paying
under market rent. The rent on that property should have been like $1,200, but they were paying $500 for a whole 4-bed, 1.5 bath house.
Woo.
Yeah. So she clearly couldn't, keep up with, she owned it free and clear. She paid it off like in the 80s. But she clearly couldn't keep up with the maintenance because she wasn't charging enough rent. So she used to live in it. And she moved out 5 years after. Then that tenant moved in, and then from there, she had the same tenant for 20 years. Pretty much, I just rolled up on her like I was driving for dollars, looking for vacant houses. And this lady, she's outside raking leaves. She actually threw the rake in the middle of the road as I was driving by.
Clear sign, like F this, man.
Yeah, so I got out. I stopped, slammed my brakes, and I got out. So I said, ma'am, you all right? It seemed like you was frustrated. She was like, yeah, this house. She was like, this house, I just can't take it. And then my eyes lit up. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go.
No way.
Yeah, so I'm like, I could help you get rid of that. And she was like, you can. She was like, I was like, yeah, maybe interested in buying it. And then she was like, all right, come back tomorrow, and I'll let the tenant know that I'm gonna have somebody come through here. So I came back, did a walkthrough, seen that it just needed like just a patch job, pretty much. It needed like the holes fixed in the walls, paint, floors a little bit, and a little bit of small bit of updates. It wasn't really bad. The tenant wasn't really that bad, as far as taking care of the place. So we get outside, I asked her, I didn't know, I was nervous off bad. I'm like, what do I offer this lady? You know, like I did numbers before I got there. I'm like, all right, if this is repaired, I'm going to offer this. So then it came to the moment, and I'm just like frozen. I'm like, all right, so what do you want for this place? and she's like, well, what would you give me? So I remember from all the studying I was doing that people would say whoever gives the first offer usually is the loser. So I was just trying to hold my ground. I'm like, how much do you want? And she's like, how much will you give me? and my dad, and I was with my dad one time, and he was buying a used car. My dad for a long time didn't have brand new cars. He would just buy used cars all the time. Like
Yeah.
he always saved money by doing that too. He never had like a luxury new car, nothing. He had saved $3,000, go buy a new one. Like if his car broke down, just go buy a new car, and keep that one for 5-10 years. But so I was with him one time, and he was going back and forth with a dealer, and he pulled out $3,000. It was like, $3,000, take it or leave it. And he just pretty much lowballed him. Car was on sale for $6,000. He was like $3,000, take it or leave it. And I don't know if the dealer was desperate or not, but my dad used to do that a lot, and it worked. But so I just thought about that. That popped in my head. So I was like, $6,000. She was like, 6,000, I'll take it. And I just was like, oh wow. So then I'm thinking like, I didn't bring no contracts. I'm like, I gotta lock this up. So I went and ran back home to Liverpool. I live in Liverpool, and that's like 20 minutes away. So I'm like, I'll be right back. So I went and ran back home, got a contract that I had in my office, ran back to the South Side, locked it up with her. And then from there, I just pretty much, I marketed it on, I pretty much built a little buyers list by going to the RIAs. So I marketed to a few guys there that I had on my list. And then I pretty much did like social media and stuff like that. And I found a buyer in like 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, locked that up. They gave a deposit. We went right to the lawyer I talked to previous. And pretty much from there, I thought it was all a done deal. I was gonna make like $7,000 in between, and I thought, I'm about to make $7,000 off of just nothing, just driving down the street. So we ended up doing a title search, and it came back that she had a few judgments on her name, and there was a mortgage that wasn't released from the 80s when she paid it off. And it pretty much took 4 or 5 months to close it because the judgment, she signed an affidavit to get those off. But the lien in 2008, this company went out of business when the market bubble came. And they sold off all their mortgages. So when she paid it off in the 80s, any release that they would have had, they didn't have computers in the 80s. So anything that she would have had would have been paper. And they pretty much shut business down, so we couldn't find a release. So it took months. This lady had to go to the Supreme Court to get the release. Like it is, yeah. So she had to go to the Supreme Court pretty much to get the release, and that's pretty much how I closed my first deal. Was a lot of ups and downs. I'm like, this is never gonna close. Ups and downs, lefts and rights, and finally, and I helped her. I pretty much helped her along through that process. I was looking up online, like how, like, does this happen to other people? And it's pretty much very common for anybody else that's listening. If you have a house that you bought in like the 80s, you might want to check and make sure with the county that it's released. Because, it could be still a lien there that you don't know about, even though you think it's free or clear, it could be a lien still there. So that taught me a little lesson there. And I learned something for the first deal. So.
Yeah, man, that's great. So you you're being a concerned citizen. I mean, it's kind of your right place, right time. I mean, everyone says that stuff like that, oh, he just kind of got lucky. But no, there was a lot of preparation before that even happened. I mean, you had to have already done prep work for you to even be driving for dollars, because a lot of people don't really even do that nowadays. So you're out there driving, actually searching for something. The world just kind of conspired, had a lady out there, and she just threw the rake down and was like, man, I'm sick of this. And then you, being a concerned citizen, went back, tried to solve a problem, and it seemed like it just worked out perfectly. I mean, that's phenomenal. So going over the numbers, right? So you said you got the deal under contract for $6,000. What did the buyer? You had a buyer's list.
Yep.
What did the buyer? What was he willing to pay? I mean,
yeah. So he paid me 14. So I made no, actually 13.
Yeah.
So I made $7,000. I made $7,000, and repairs on it was like $12,000.
Okay. Do you know what he did with that property after that? I'm assuming, did he flip it or did he just keep it for himself?
He kept it for himself and put a tenant in it. Yeah. Okay. The guy owns like a bunch of properties over in that area anyway. So
yeah. That's great, man. That's awesome. So $7K for about for some work in 4 months. I mean, that's not bad. And I'm assuming you were working on other deals during that time as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Man, but in between that, I just like to give information to other people trying to wholesale. It's not all like rainbows. It's not. It's not when you first start. Like, it's just gonna be a lot going on. Like, I had that deal locked up and I was waiting for it to close, but I had like other deals that I locked up that just was not going good. It just, I was locking them up in like bad corners or like streets that people didn't like, or like there was like just underlying stuff that the research that you should probably do before you lock a deal up. Like just little stuff that people who are buyers that you got to think about.
Yeah.
That they'll look at it, that'll deter them from buying deals. So I had a few deals that just they were decent deals. It just wasn't like attractive to where the houses were, but that's just one thing that I took away from, learning the process through it, but once I got through that first deal, and then I learned from all the deals in between, the deals I was trying to do in between closing that one, I learned a bunch of stuff in between that, which really launched me pretty far after that. I pretty much started rolling, pretty much locking and closing stuff like back to back after that.
So what would you say are the two biggest lessons learned out of your first deal?
Pretty much to out of my first deal, to just do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. And I tend to do that more now. Is before I lock something up, I do my due diligence, and even when it's locked up, before I decide to put it out there, I make sure there's no title issues. Just make sure that you're not putting out, just bad product. That's pretty much what I learned from that one. And then the deals in between that one, for the months that I was trying to close that one, I learned that you got to be super on point with your numbers. If you got a bad location, you got to get, if you got not a bad location, but not a super attractive location, but it's a good deal, your numbers got to be, tight, pretty much. Okay. That's pretty much what I learned. Numbers got to be on point for those deals. And for that deal, you got to make sure that you're putting out good product. Like any business, you got to make sure you're putting out good product, no defects.
Yeah, because a reflection on you, right? On you and it speaks to your credibility, basically. So it's going to be hard for you to sell to other people if you're putting out bad product and you got a bad name for yourself, I assume, right?
Yep.
Definitely understood. All right. So did the first deal, locked up the first deal, and you started wholesaling, continuing to wholesale. What about some of the systems that you've put in place? Because I mean, this entire time you're still working a W-2 job, right? So I'm assuming you had to start developing some type of systems to help you build and scale the way you want to where you're at right now.
Yeah. So when I got that, after I got that first deal closed, I took the whole check and I just I pretty much went back home to Utica, because I kept saying once I make some money in this, I'm gonna just take the money and I'm just gonna flip it and I'm gonna expand. I'm gonna just not be Syracuse, because Syracuse is a pretty competitive market. There's a lot of people trying to wholesale, a lot of people trying, but there's a lot of flippers and people buying properties. A lot of competition. You got to find pockets in Syracuse, like a niche pocket, to really find good deals, because there's bigger dogs and people with more money, so their advertising will pretty much box you out. So you got to find like a little niche to get in. But like Utica, Utica was like untouched. You know, like not a lot of people trying to wholesale, not a lot of people advertising. So pretty much I took the whole check and I pretty much put it right back in there. I put tons of bandit signs out in Utica, put bandit signs out in Syracuse. And I started out doing all that on my own. Started driving around, putting bandit signs up myself, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. While everybody else was partying, I was out putting up signs like a madman. That was the first part of me trying to expand a little bit. And then once I got deals off those signs, I started trying different things out, like throwing out, like sending mailers out. And then once I got my second deal, I made like $3,000 or $4,000. I took that money and I said, I don't want to just be a wholesaler. I want to look like I want to be a legit business. So I took the money, you know, I created a logo, got an LLC, made myself a full-fledged business. I made Cream Team Properties because me and my group of friends, we called ourselves Cream Team growing up.
Yeah.
But I just put, you know, the Wu-Tang reference, but I put a more positive spin on it, you know, things that I really care about, you know, rebuilding my community, especially home in Utica, where I'm from. You know, I really want to rebuild that place. Like a lot of different places around where I grew up, I really want to take some of that back. So that's why I made the name what it is. But the systems I put in place right after I started my LLC is pretty much every avenue of advertising. I made it semi automated, kind of.
Yeah.
So like the internet thing. I started a website. I got the SEO really good. I sunk a lot of money in to get my SEO really good. So like right now I'm like top 3 on Google if you Google like anything for real estate in Syracuse area, or Utica area as well. So I pretty much sunk money in. I pretty much paid. I don't know anything about websites, so I pretty much paid somebody. You know, I pretty much put the money into where I should have, you know, hire somebody to do it right. You know. And as far as, you know, pretty much my system is bandit signs, the internet, and a lot of people, I've been growing respect across the internet for some reason through people that just know me or know of me or know people that know me. So I've been getting a lot of leads pretty much for the past 6 months that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of my leads come from just word of mouth. People will word of mouth, and then they'll go on my website, and then I'll go see them, and they was like, yeah, so-and-so referred me to you, you know? So pretty much my system is very simple. I got 2 acquisitions managers. I got one in Syracuse, Maurice, and I got one in Utica, my cousin, Collier. And I pretty much trained them, every deal I got a little better to where I just got real comfortable. So I trained them to get comfortable like me. And they already had like sales experience. So any leads that come in both areas, I'm first to see it. And then if I don't have time or the owner doesn't have time for my time, then I send Maurice in Syracuse, and same thing in Utica. And pretty much that's pretty much my system. Any lead that comes in, it comes through me. Well, now a VA. Now I don't answer phones or anything like that. So now a VA will be the first person. I got a VA, Ahmed. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. So anytime you call my company, Ahmed will answer the phone, and he'll channel you to me or to Maurice or to Collier, depending on what we all got going on. Because we're always, pretty much all of us are busy. But pretty much I implemented a system to where anywhere a lead comes in, I advertise a bunch of different ways. I know some people that wholesale and do real estate that advertise, they do one thing. They say do one thing good, but I do like 3 things good. So I really can't say one system that I do, because I do like 3 things that I put money into, and they all work. You know? And I don't sink a ton of money into them when I'm doing them either. So the ROI when I get deals is pretty decent.
That's great, man. Like when you start to build a team, especially building a reputation. I mean, you're saying you're getting a lot of word of mouth, and that speaks to you and what you're doing, especially giving back to your community. I'm sure a lot of it, it seems like you kind of took over Utica, right? So being a kind of a staple in your city, giving back to your city, that does a lot for your credibility. And now people are just spitting your name out. So if you want to talk anything real estate, all right, talk to Ed, man. Ed's got you.
Yeah.
So that's great, man. I love that.
And a little side note, anybody in the Utica area, Syracuse area, Albany, Rochester, sponsoring a basketball tournament, something that's real important to me. Sponsoring a basketball tournament. It's been going on it's the 4th annual Stop the Violence basketball tournament in Utica, New York. It's August 10th and 11th. It's been going on for 4 years. It's in the name of Sean Capo Vaughn. He was killed in Utica in like 2010. I knew the kid. I knew his friends. They'd have this tournament every year in his name. And I played ball with him growing up as well in high school and middle school and stuff like that. And I'm sponsoring the tournament this year. So anybody that wants to play ball, vendors, anything, any other sponsors want to step up, we got that going on too. So that's just, and that's something I care about too, giving back. Speaking of giving back, I'm giving back that way. A lot of people talk about giving back in these communities, but they really ain't doing it. So I'm trying to put up, not just talk about it,
Got you, man. Got you. Actually walking the talk, so that's great. So let's transition a little bit into where you're at right now. So you said from the beginning what your plan was to be a landlord owner, to scale up and start owning property. So it seems like you used the wholesaling, your W-2 mixed with your wholesaling as I guess a catapult towards that end goal. And you had that end goal, and now it's actually working. So now let's talk about your first investment and how you got that. Again, if you guys want to see the actual video for it, go to my YouTube channel. Just scroll down. I think I did the video with you maybe like 6 months ago or something like that. Go check it out, and you can see what he was doing with that property. Actually view the duplex as well. And he'll probably send me some pictures, and I can put up some updated pictures in this video, or maybe we'll do another video at another time, a walkthrough. But let's talk that. So that duplex, what the numbers were, how did what you got it for, how you found it, how you financed it, what you put into it, and what it's renting out for, and how it's performing right now.
Yeah. So pretty much, I found it on Craigslist. I go on Craigslist probably once or twice a week, just see if there's any deals on there. I was ready. I was wholesaling for most of the year, so I started to think like, some of these deals I would probably should really be keeping these. Like, I don't want to be a wholesaler. Like, that's not my thing to be a wholesaler. My thing is to build a real estate business. Wholesaling is just a way to like just generate some more cash to be able to, buy more, but I found it on Craigslist, and I went and looked at it with the intentions of wholesaling. I went there. The numbers like was pretty good. The ARV before I got there was like 88,000. It was looking like the guy was selling it for 50. So I went there, walked it. He put a new roof on it, so that it leaked a lot. He put a new rubber roof on it, so a little flat roof. So the ceiling was all kind of moldy and stuff like that. Needed new floors upstairs. Downstairs wasn't really that bad at all. Just needed floors to be done, some paint, and update the bathroom. That's pretty much downstairs we need to be. So I had a contractor walk through there with me. We got repairs at 20,000. So after I did the numbers, I determined I could give him 40. So I'm thinking in my head like, what should I do with this? Should I wholesale this or should I keep this one? So I decided, I'm going to keep this one. So what's the strategy I'm going to do with this one? I was watching Bigger Pockets, Brandon from Bigger Pockets explained what the burst strategy was. And I think I actually came across one of your videos too. Like I was watching Brandon's videos, but then like the videos that relate, one of your videos was on the bottom of it. So so pretty much I went and I said I'm gonna try to burst strategy with this one. So I went and got instead of getting hard money, I went and got a personal loan. I got good credit, so I went and got a personal loan, and I offered him $40K, and he took it. So I gave him $40K, like $2,000 in closing costs. So I'm at 42, and I put $20,000 into it. Actually, it came out to be a little more than 20 because I ended up getting a back shed. I was gonna tear it off, but I ended up, building it back up just to charge the tenants to use it. So I figured it was probably be a good investment. Just charge a couple extra $50 per unit for them to use a small shed if they wanted to. So I ended up spending like $1,000, $1,400 on that. And then after that, I got tenants in there halfway through the project downstairs. And then at the end, the better looking apartment, the beautiful, better looking apartment, I got a tenant up there right after. And then after that, I went and refinanced out, which I'm thinking that the numbers look like in the area, because in Utica, and it's in Utica on Smith Street. Around that area, everything is selling for like around 80s. There's like 34 2 units on the market right now, and it's been that way for like they're hot in that area. 2 units are. So there's a lot of owner occupants and stuff like that are buying 2 units in Utica. So I'm thinking like it's gonna be 80, 85. With some of the higher end finishes I did, maybe 90. I'm thinking. So I get the appraisal back, which it took a little long with the contractor. Had a little issues there, but I got through it. Did the appraisal about 3-4 weeks ago, and it came back to 120.
Great. You sent me the text. When you sent me that text, I was like, man, that's awesome, dude. I was really, really happy for you.
Yeah, man. When that came through, I almost dropped my phone. I'm like, pretty much I put in a little over 60K into the building. Probably a little over 60K. Probably 67. I think my expenses came out. I got it in this office somewhere in my folder, maybe my suitcase downstairs. But I got it written down. I think I put like 67.8 into it, and I was gonna refinance out and get all that money back and just pay off the loan and get all my money back that I put in personally. So it came back, and I'm like, I'm about to walk out of here with like $1,000. I'm like, it's my first deal. I'm like, this is amazing. So the bank is gonna give me 80%. The bank I'm going through is gonna give me 80% of 120. So I'm getting 96,000. So I'm gonna pay off 67. And I'm gonna walk away with that extras to go do more.
That is awesome, and that's perfect burst strategy. That sounds very, very, very similar to my first deal as well. So you took your money, you put 67 and some change into it, refied out, got 97 back. So the difference was about 30 G's, and all of the capital, every single penny that you put into this place, you get back plus more. So you have no money into this deal. You made like 30 G's off the deal. Now you can take that 30 G's and then go do another deal. I mean, you talk about wealth creation, man. Like that is it, dude. That is it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been following Robert Kiyosaki, and he talks about infinite returns all the time. And it's crazy for me to do my first deal and to have infinite returns. And I'm looking at this and I'm on the phone with the lady from the bank, and I'm like, this is like surreal, because I'm following Robert Kiyosaki at the time. All this time, I listen to a lot of his videos, and I read his books and stuff like that. And he talks about infinite returns a lot and how to get it. And for me to get it on the first deal was just surreal for me, like a movie moment.
That's great, man. That's great, dude. So first deal went fantastic. And again, like if you guys want to see the videos, what some of the inside looks like, definitely go check out the YouTube channel, Financial Freedom Journal, for those that are listening on the podcast right now. Dude, that's amazing. So what's the next move, man? Like I know you got a couple other businesses that you're starting up, but as far as real estate is concerned, what's the next move?
Pretty much, I'm just gonna scale. I'm gonna scale the wholesale a little bit, but I'm gonna buy. I'm looking for, just looking for the next right property to buy. You know, right couple. Maybe I'll buy a couple. Maybe I'll buy, get into some commercial stuff. Like we've been talking about some commercial stuff. Maybe I'll do that. I'm just looking for the right next investment to get into. I'm going to take part of the money and invest it in, my other businesses. But most of them going to just scale the real estate crazy. Just, try to grow as fast as possible. I'm going to take that money and just flip it and turn it as many times as I can from here and try to, catapult myself into a good wealth direction.
Dude, that's fantastic, man. I love it. I love it. The message, we're putting it out, and you're actually living what you're talking. You're able to go back and speak to other people, other younger people, and tell them, hey, this is the way to build wealth. This is a way to build wealth, passive income. Every single one of the businesses that you have pretty much is focused on passive income for the most part. So I really like that, and I really like that you're teaching this to other people as well. So that's awesome. What does financial freedom mean to you?
Financial freedom to me means to have more time with my family. I got a little 2-year-old boy, and I'm married. Got my wife Brianna and my son is Emery, and literally, when I first started getting into real estate, he was being born. So that's probably my biggest motivation is him and her. But when he was being born, my mind just hit another gear where I'm like, my dad growing up, he worked a lot. Like my dad had like 3 jobs working up. My dad was a pizza boy. He worked for the city schools as a maintenance guy. And he worked for like a cable place. Like he did a bunch of different stuff growing up, and he always found time to try to make my games and stuff like that, but he was always working. My dad and pretty much my dad and my uncle, they both raised me, and my aunt, and watching those 3 together pretty much bring me up. One thing that always carried my mind was like, they provide for me and they give me a pretty decent life. We pretty much got what I needed in life. Not everything I wanted, but everything I needed. All the tools and all the shirt on my back, food to eat. I got pretty much all the things I needed growing up. But one thing that stood out was they always worked and worked, long hours, a lot of hours. And when my son was coming, I'm like, to me, financial freedom is having all the time I can have with him, all the time I could spend with him, and giving him all the tools and spending more time with him than at work. Like right now, I do hustle a lot. I got a couple of businesses and I still got my full-time job. But I'm getting to a good place where I'm getting closer and closer and closer. So, but what financial freedom means to me is just more time with my family. That's the most important thing to me is my family. So.
Got it, man. So for any of the people that listen on podcasts or watching on the actual video itself, other 9-to-5 workers, right? People are in the same situation as you and me. We're both working 9-to-5 jobs, but we also have this other entity or other businesses that are generating wealth. What's some advice that you could give to them to help? Maybe they're kind of caught in limbo, like, man, I don't know if I want to do this, or I'm not sure. Are they afraid to take that risk, right? What's some advice that you would give to them to help kind of jumpstart to motivate them or help jumpstart, their journey?
Yeah, pretty much what I could tell anybody else with a 9-to-5 that you might be scared. I tell people this every week, pretty much. Anybody that's looking to, make a jump and try things that you don't have to even try just real estate. Try something that you're passionate about, just jump in it, try it. Take the risk. Don't be afraid. Like especially if you're like our age, 20s, 30s, you jump in it, man. Just you got time. You can mess up a year. You could fail forward. You could take it as a learning experience.
Yo, you gotta say it one more time. What's that? Fail forward?
Yeah, fail forward.
What is that about?
Yeah, failing forward is pretty much anything that you do in life that you fail for. When you're a little baby, how many times do you fall before you start walking? A bunch of times before you just actually start taking off and just walking. So you just got to keep failure. Like, you're in the gym, you're trying to pump out 225. The only way you're going to get to 225 is you keep trying to bench press until you fail, and that's how you grow and that's how you get to that next level. So anybody with a 9-to-5, don't quit. Everything is hard in the beginning. It ain't all rainbows. It's not easy at the beginning. It's going to be hard. I'm not a guru, nothing like that, but I know how to hustle. I know how to hustle, and I know how to, navigate through 9-to-5 and being a businessman at this point in life. I know how to do that. And one thing I can say is don't quit. Just jump in it. Don't be afraid. If you're passionate about something that you want to do, just do it. And if you fail, it's okay. Just keep getting through it. Don't quit. Just keep getting through it. That's pretty much it.
Dude, that's great advice. Great advice, man. So wrapping up, how can subscribers or listeners, how can we get in contact with you and find out more about you? I'm going to have the links down below. You'll see them below our pictures, but please.
Yeah. So at my business pages, also on ATM business. So you can reach me at on Instagram right now at Prolific ATMs. And also at www.prolific-atms.com. And also for the real estate side of things, you can reach me at, you could go on our website at creamteamhomebuyers.com. If you're looking to sell your house, if you're looking to buy a house, also have a buyer's website at creamteamproperties.com. And on Instagram, you could reach me at Blackshear. That's my new kind of entrepreneur page. I'm getting ready to drop some videos, little short clip videos of just some information of how to probably do things that I like, things that I'm doing. And also for my business page, you can reach me at for real estate. You can reach me at CTE Properties LLC on Instagram and Facebook.
That's great, man. Hey, any last words for anyone listening or watching the video right now?
Yeah, just pretty like we said before, if you're a 9-to-5er aspiring to be a entrepreneur, just jump in it. Don't listen to none of the noise. It's gonna be a lot of noise. People at work, parents, everybody. It's gonna be a lot of noise. Just jump in it. Just do it. Don't quit. And don't be afraid. Just fail forward. Do it for your family. That's all I can say.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Hey, again, thank you so much for coming on our show. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll definitely be in contact, so you guys who are listening or who are watching, be on the lookout because likely we're going to figure something out. We've been talking back and forth for a while now, but we're going to figure something out, and it's probably going to be pretty big, and we're pretty excited about it. But if you enjoy the content that we're putting out, if you're enjoying these episodes, please do us a favor. If you're listening, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Please share the podcast with those that that may be interested in real estate and want to learn a little bit about real estate. For those of you who are watching the video on YouTube, do me a favor, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell there as well, so you can keep getting our videos. And that's pretty much it. This is Dan Wynn signing out. I'll hit the record. Oh, hold on one second. Bad.